first heartbreak wasn't romantic at all. It was the day I lost my closest friend. Let's call him Mike. To me, Mike had the lights of a million suns in his eyes and a sense of humor that could find its way into any room and make it just a tad bit brighter. He was this incredible beacon of friendship, and honestly, he was the highlight for 7-year-old me in the confusing, often weird world of primary school. He made everything a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more happy. Each day, it was just a little bit better because he was in it. That's why it hits like a truck the day he told me we cannot hang out anymore. I was sitting at my desk, doing something kids do when he walked over. I looked up, ready to say hi, but the words he spoke next felt like they froze the air between us. He couldn't quite meet my eyes. He just mumbled, so quietly I almost didn't hear him. My mom. She says you're a bad influence. He took a shaky breath, and the words I thought could never come out of his mouth did. She forbids me from being friends with you. He says bad influence. Those two words. To say they hurt is an understatement. For years, they followed me, haunted me like a ghost from the past. It told me to never ever get comfortable in my own skin, that I was fundamentally, irreversibly not made correctly, and being who I am would hurt others so deeply. In that moment, a devastating belief formed. The real me was something to be hidden. I became convinced that the sight of who I truly was would chase people away. And so, I made a choice. It wasn't a conscious decision, not at first, but more of a survival instinct thing. I chose to please. I chose to agree. I chose to become a chameleon, a mirror, a blank canvas on which others could paint their expectations. Piece by piece, I was constructed with blocks made of anticipations and perspectives of others. I was wearing each person's shoes without realizing the whole time that I was barefoot, not wearing anything of my own. I was the ship of Theseus, with most of my planks yanked away. I'm really not kidding you when I say it took me years to recollect my pieces and to be fine with myself. And through my story, I know that a lot of you guys expect this part to be like a self-help book. Try your best, find what you're interested in, and tell you guys how you guys can find yourself as well. But I'm not here for that. Everyone has their own ways of tracking their paths to themselves, and I'm in no capacity to tell you what to do. But what I can do is to tell you guys about the challenges you will face when you try to accept yourself, when you try to find yourself, since I've gone through them bitterly. And I hope that I let you find some comfort in not being alone, in facing those challenges as well. The first thing that we would feel is the uncomfortableness in trying to feel comfortable. When we spend years wearing other people's shoes, being in our own skin is itchy. It's like wearing a hot crimson sweater during the intense summer of Hanoi, with being soaked with our own sweat. We feel the weight of every person criticizing us. We can just imagine the things they're saying to themselves about us, and that's the norm actually. You have trained yourself of a sort to always look from their perspectives. That instinct does not just disappear on a whim. It would inevitably fill you with pools of anxiety and paranoia. And when you're drowning in that anxiety, your body enters the mode where you have to decide between two options: fight or flight. Flight is the first choice. You give up, you let yourself be suffocated. You go back to the old discomforting comfort of pleasing others. The other option is to fight. You choose to stay in the pools. You choose to stay in the water. You accept the discomfort and the fear. You choose yourself above all else. And much hard work it would be, but believe me that it will be all worth it when you start feeling the aspiration, the hopefulness that takes over your lungs and your hearts when you get to breathe for yourself for the first time. The path, however, my friend, is one of constant hardship. After fighting so hard to stand on your own, you would still need to discover the pieces and the parcels of your identity. In today's world, that often means you turn to the internet. Social media presents itself as a place of endless discovery. It offers you opportunities to know who you are. It shows you new styles, new doors, new opportunities to know who you are deep down and truly. But it's a lot more foggy to have such self-discovery with how many bandwagons and trends stirring up your brains, performative actions like boo-boo, matcha, old money style, and making you engaging in worthless identity conforming discussions like who pays for the first date, who is better, which gender is better, all of them ramping up your brain, not making you realize you're running in circles. As you keep chasing in this rat race, you run and run and run and forget why you ever start running in the first place. You will be the results of not your own curiosity, your love, or your knowledge, but what algorithms want you to be. Being yourself is incredibly hard, no matter the age, 7-year-olds or any year-old. Especially as we interact digitally more and more. And for the longest time, I thought the solution was to escape, to build walls, and try to find that original 7-year-old me before he was ever called a bad influence. But I realized he was gone. I was the Shiva thesis, and those original planks that were yanked away from me were never coming back. And standing there in the middle of all that digital noise, I understand something innate to me and probably to you as well. The world will always be full of influence. The algorithms aren't going away. Social mediums aren't going away. We're going to have parts of us being infected by those we laugh to and those who we seek admiration. But we are also perpetrators of our own values. We have the right to fight for what we feel right, to say something and mean it with all our hearts, and it would be silly to think finding yourself has an end goal. Since that's not true, we as humans, you are changing every day, reacting to the things the world gives you, but that's only half of the story. Because you are also the person that gives something back to the world, to be the one trying your best to be yourself, to really confirm your identity in the multiple of the universe. The discomfort I talked about, it doesn't vanish completely. There are still days I feel that itchy Christmas sweater, but now it's a bit different. I get to pick the type of itch that I want to have. And for me, for the first time, every single day, every moment that I am waking up, I am standing on my own ground. Thank you for listening.